Hello, welcome to Physical Science. I really enjoy physical science. I've been teaching it for a number of years now. One of the things you'll be learning about in this first lesson is about the importance of measurement in physical science. Scientists take measurements all the time, and the reason they do that is so that they can communicate the results of what they find in their experiments with other people and understand it. One of the tools that we use for that is a meter stick. Meter sticks for measuring length. We use balances for measuring mass, and graduated cylinders for measuring volume. We also use thermometers to measure temperature. In this lesson, you'll also be learning about experimental processes, the process that scientists go through as they want to study the world and learn about the world around them. You'll learn about what variables they control and how they control them. And then you'll also learn about motion in this lesson. One of the examples of motion that we're going to be looking at today is a battery-powered car. We have this battery-powered car set up here with a motion detector that's hooked up to the computer. The motion detector sends a signal out to the car, and it bounces off the car and back to the detector. That allows the computer to look at and study the motion of the car. So we'll go ahead and start the computer and the car. You'll notice as it's traveling across the table that the car is moving with a constant velocity. Velocity is one of those concepts that we'll be learning about in this lesson. So we see on the left-hand side we've got a position versus time graph. We see that it's nice and linear, which tells us it has constant velocity. On the right-hand side, we have a velocity versus time graph, and it's horizontal, which also tells us that it's constant velocity. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to create some of these position versus time graphs and velocity versus time graphs from data. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at chemical reactions. We're going to learn a little bit more detail about the periodic table and how exactly those elements are organized, and how that affects which atoms combine with which other atoms to form new compounds. So if we look at the periodic table, we can see here they're arranged by their valence electron. So in group 1, this column over here, they all have one valence electron. In the second group, we have two valence electrons. Then we hit this group that's called the transition metals. We'll learn about those in this lesson as well. Over here to group 3, we have three valence electrons, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and then 8. We're going to look now at an example of a chemical reaction. In this lesson, we're going to look at different types of chemical reactions. This is just one example. For our example today, we're going to look at combining baking soda and vinegar. So I take some baking soda, I'm going to put it in the flask, take the vinegar, and I pour a little vinegar in the flask, and you'll see right away something's going on in there. You see all those bubbles. So what's happening is the baking soda and the vinegar are combining chemically and producing new compounds. Now, you can't see it in here, but those bubbles are actually a gas called carbon dioxide. Now, that's a colorless gas. We can't see the gas in there. It's colorless just like the air. But we can show that it is in fact there by lighting a candle. And as we all know, oxygen is necessary for a flame. And so if we take this flask and we just pour the carbon dioxide out, it will blow the candle out. And so that provides us evidence that there is in fact a colorless gas that's produced when we combine the baking soda and the vinegar. And that gas is carbon dioxide. Here's an example of a chemical reaction, fireworks. Fireworks is a reaction with oxygen and the chemicals in the fireworks. So in this lesson, we're going to be focusing on chemical reactions, which atoms combine with other atoms to form new compounds, how they do that, and some of the products that are produced.